The next question we need to ask ourselves is, are the social skills needed for success for students with visual impairments any different than those of other students? And the obvious answer is no. We need to look at the social skills of students in the classroom environment and begin to understand the dynamics that occur there. At what age levels do social skills demand change? For example, for a young child, some of the primary tasks are first learning to play. And we all know play starts out solitary play, moves to parallel play, and then moves to cooperative or interactive play. All right? There's a sequence there. To be successful at cooperative or interactive play, you have to know how to play in general. You have to know how to manipulate objects and engage with other people through language and communication. So the social skills of a child with visual impairment are still going to follow that progression. And we need to be conscious of that. Within the module on social skills development, thanks to Sharon Sachs, the author of Teaching Social Skills to Students with Visual Impairments, available through AFB Press, we were able to put in some handouts which illustrate the tasks of social development from infancy all the way up through high school. Just some examples of the challenges that occur at each of those different age levels. So now you can begin to think about the students within your classroom and what they're doing and how you need to affect change in order for the student with visual impairments to better learn social skills. Ongoing observation and assessment are crucial to determine this match. Again, because too much of our social skills learning is incidental. We need to use tools like videotapes as an opportunity, just like the ones you'll see here a little bit later on, as an opportunity to look at, step back, assess, and then decide on the steps we're going to take to help the student with visual impairments better access the environment. In order to really understand the tasks of social skills at different age levels, we need to be active observers within the classroom. There's a term called ecological assessment, where you look at the environment that you're in and you study what non-disabled peers are doing in terms of their social skills. All right, you can use it across many other skill areas, but in this particular instance, we'll talk about social skills. How are the children in the classroom interacting with one another? For example, one time we were trying to do an integrated program here at our preschool, and we brought in a group of 4- and 5-year-olds, and they started to do pretend play. And we had a child who was totally blind wanting to get into that play situation. At first, we just stepped back and watched what they did. And as they played, we realized that much of the play of 4- and 5-year-olds around pretend play is nonverbal. They would hand this person the baby doll. They would hand this person the hairbrush. And they would not really talk during their interactions. And the child with visual impairments was left there saying, well, what's going on? Can someone help me? Tell me what's going on. And it made us conscious of the fact that we really had to first understand how children at different age levels interact with one another, and this goes all the way up through high school, but how they interact with one another by stepping back and observing. To go back to my former example about the child who we were trying to engage in an interactive play group. And the children in the group were doing so many things non-verbally. And the child said, well, what's happening? What we did as adults in that situation is we began to interpret for them the nonverbal cues that they couldn't pick up on. We also began to help those sighted peers understand that for this particular girl to find the baby bottle, they had to hand it towards her and say, here comes the bottle, so that she can reach out and more effectively interact. As they became more competent and as the visually impaired student became more competent in terms of asking questions or jumping into the situation, we as adults could step back a little further. So it's a bit of a dance. Again, looking at stepping in, stepping out. So to be effective facilitators, a good way to think of it is we need to learn how to dance. We need to be sensitive as to when to step back and observe, all right? When to step in, when to help our partner through a certain move or a series of movements, and then to release them again so they can move on their own. So it becomes sort of a dance, an interaction between you as the adult, or sometimes a peer, and the child with visual impairments, or a student with visual impairments, in the given situation, so that they can understand better the cues that are happening, or the things that are happening around them that they can't see visually, that we can pick up on, and then how to help them engage in those same activities, engage in those interactions more effectively. Many times, another technique that you might want to use is that you want to pre-teach in situations. A good way to do that is through role-playing. A concrete example is we were teaching some teenagers about how to go out on a date. And what we did was teach them the steps of dating and then had them go through those steps, calling the restaurant to make a reservation, talking to the person that they were going out with, asking them out, saying, I have this evening planned for you, giving them the words and materials so that they could begin to reach out to other people in their environment.